Hey, what's up guys? This is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be taking my legendary Fisherman deck. And I never thought I would ever say that in my entire life, that I would be recording a legendary Fisherman deck. But with the new legendary Duelist pack, we've actually been able to make a legendary Fisherman deck. And I hope I can actually do Meku Tsunami proud, or aka Freaky Fish Guy, the proud with this deck. So this deck is actually really interesting. It's pretty consistent on summoning the legendary Fisherman 3, and you can even pull off summoning White Aura Whale, which is really crazy in this deck. It comes out at 3k and it just bombards the whole field and destroys all monsters in attack position that your opponent controls. So it's like it comes out and mirror forces the whole field, except they don't have to attack you. And it comes back over and over again. But I'll show you how you get into that. You wouldn't think you could in this deck, but you really can. So without further ado, let's get straight on into it. And let's get this video to be the most viewed legendary Fisherman deck on YouTube. So don't forget to subscribe, guys, for more content, and don't forget to hit that bell down right about there. So let's get into this. So first off, we're going to play 3 copies of the Legendary Fisherman 3. You've got to play 3 because he's number 3. But what you do is you have to special summon this card from your hand by attributing 1 Legendary Fisherman you control, and it cannot be special summoned by other ways. Now this card is the bomb diggity once you get it out. When this card is special summoned, you can banish all monsters your opponent controls. Also, all monsters, even face down. Also, this card can't attack the turn. But big deal. You just gave him like a neg at least 2, maybe 3. Or they're going to waste a Solemn Strike on it. And it cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects, which is crazy. Also is unaffected by spell or traps, which is a condition, guys. That's really important. And once per turn, you can return as many of your opponent's banished cards as possible to their graveyard. And if you do, the first attack that this card inflicts is doubled. So, like, if you're going to attack them with, like, if they got a 25, if they got a 2,000 attack one monster, they're going to take 1,000 damage. So it's doubling it. Or if they got 0, it's going to go to 5,000 damage, which is crazy. So that card is the boss monster of the deck besides White Aura Whale. Then we play 3 copies of the Legendary Fisherman 2. The Legendary Fisherman 2 is really interesting because his name is treated as the Legendary Fisherman when he's on the field or in the graveyard. And while Umi is on the field, this card is unaffected by monster effects. If this face-up card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's effect while it's in its owner's control, you can add a level 7 water monster from your deck to your hand, which is usually going to be, I believe, our Legendary Fisherman 3s or our Citadel Whale that we only play at 1. I think it's a level 7. I have to check and we'll get back to you on that one. So then we play 3 copies of the Legendary Fisherman himself. I wish I had ultra rares of this that I could actually throw at you guys. But his effect is while Umi is on the field, this card is unaffected by spell effects, period. So he doesn't get the boost, which kind of sucks. And he can't be targeted for attacks, but does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. So he's an 1800 beater that can't be, you know, attacked. And he's unaffected by spells, so they can't Raigeki him. Then you play 1 copy of Citadel Whale, which is actually Fortress Whale, but remade into this thing. It's interesting because if this card's in your hand or graveyard, you contribute any 2 water monsters to special summon this card. And you can only use the effect of Citadel Whale once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can set a Sea Stealth attack directly from your deck, which is a really good card that we're going to get into in a minute, which is this card right here, that you play 3 of always. Then if you do, you can, let's see, where was I? When your opponent monster activates an effect that targets 1 water monster and no other cards, you can negate the effect, and if you do, destroy it, which is really good. Then we play 3 copies of Warrior of Atlantis. Now this card is usually just your fodder to discard to the graveyard to add the Legendary Ocean from your deck to your hand. But you can actually pull off some really interesting stuff by summoning this when the Legendary Ocean is on the field, because it goes up to, I believe, 21 when the Legendary Ocean is live. So then we play 1 Colossus. Colossus? I think that's how you say it. Anyways, it's baby Daedalus, basically. And this card's effect is you can send 1 face-up Umi you control to the graveyard to select 2 face-up cards your opponent controls and send them to the graveyard, which is really, really, really good because it's important to say send. Really good card, only really need one of it, but it gets us basically, with these, it gets you basically 6 terraformings, which is really, really nice. So that's it for the monsters. Not a really big monster count for this deck because a lot of it's going to be into draw power, because if you don't draw into the Legendary Ocean, we're dead. Yeah. So then we play 1 terraforming because we already have the Warriors of Atlantis. We already are playing technically 4 copies of terraforming, so I kind of just snuck this in here to be like, let's add some more consistency to it. Then we play 3 copies of Legendary Ocean, which is basically our copy of Umi because it counts as Umi when it's on the field, and it downgrades all water monsters on both players' hands and field by 1, and then it increases all of their attack by 200, which is really, really cool. Then I play 2 copies of Rage of Kyrushin. I really wish they would have made Kyrushin into a monster instead of a spell, which would have been really cool, because he was originally a monster. If you control Umi, you can target monsters your opponent controls up to the number of water monsters you control that original level are 5 or higher and destroy them. And if you do, the zones cannot be used until the end phase of the next turn, which is really good because it can lock your opponent out of their extra monster zone, which is really, really, really cool. Now, this is how we get into our White Aura Whale, is with 3 copies of Instant Fusion, with the so-called best card of 2016 or 2017, with Sea Monster of Thessalos. If you make this while it's a Legendary Oceans on the field and you have a level 5 monster on the field, you can actually downgrade them both to level 4 to synchro into White Aura Whale, which is really, really neat. Then we play 3 copies of Pot of Duality, because we're not going to special summon a whole heck of a lot in this deck. It's just kind of for consistency reasons. If you normal summon out your Legendary Fisherman, you're going to be fine, because he comes out at 2050, but then he doesn't get the boost, so he comes out at 1850, but they can't attack him. So you're going to be okay with just playing the 3 Pot of Dualities, because it just adds consistency. Then we play 3 copies of Feast of the Wild, level 5, which is really, really important in this deck, and this is why I play the 3 Pot of Dualities, is to get to this to build up for the next turn. You special summon 2 level 5 warrior monsters from your hand and or graveyard, but their effects are negated. Also, for the rest of the turn, they cannot attack, but it lets you keep them on the field. So you can actually special summon your copies of the Legendary Fisherman and the Legendary Fisherman 2 from your hand or grave, which is really, really nice. And it really adds some consistency to the deck that the deck really needed. And it was originally made for Battle Guards. Do you remember those old guys? They may be getting an archetype one day. But we play the Feast of the Wild to add some more consistency. It's like a Monster Reborn for the deck. It's really important to play 3 of them, in my opinion, because it just helps so much. But that's it for the spells. Let's get into the traps. We actually play a considerable amount of traps because this deck does need a little bit of a boost to kind of get into what it needs. Now, I elected to play Paleozoics because Paleozoics really help out in the deck. And the engine that I'm playing is 2 Canada, I don't know, I always call it Canada, but it's Canada. 2 or 3 Olenoids. Let me really quickly go back to Canada. Canada's effect is once per turn, or once per chain, you can special summon this card if you activate a trap card, which is really, really cool. All of the Infernoids, or not the Infernoids, all the Paleozoics have the effect of you can special summon them if you activate a trap card. So like if this is face down, and I have this in the grave, and I activate it, I can special summon this one back, which is really cool. So it kind of lets you have some extra monsters in the deck and lets you link summon into your Master Boys, which really helps to bring up the attack of your monsters. But this one's a Book of Moon, this one's a MST pretty much, and then this one is a Karma Cut. So that's why I play this small little Paleozoic engine, because it helps out. Like, I came up with a deck and I had like 33 cards, and I was like, let me just throw in a Paleozoic engine and it'll work. They're all water monsters. They'll go out by 200. I'll have 1400 and I can link summon with them. So I threw them in there and it worked. It really, really worked to play this little engine. And if you want to change it around where you play like 2 of these and you play some different ones, go for it. It's kind of up to you. This deck is not really meta. It's kind of like one of those local decks, but it'll work. It does work. Then we play 3C Stealth Attack, which explains how Meku hid his monsters in the sea without this card on the field. When this card is activated, you can activate one Omi directly from your hand or grave, which is really cool. And while it's on the field, this face-up card gains the following effects. Once per turn, you can banish one water monster you control until the end phase of this turn. Face-up spell and trap card you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, even if this card leaves the field. So it kind of explains how he got rid of them so you couldn't attack them, and then they came back on his turn, I guess. And at the start of the damage step, if a water monster whose original level is 5 or higher battles an opponent's monster, destroy that monster instantly. That also explains how he destroyed monsters that were higher attack than Yugioh's monster at Duelist Kingdom. So that's it for the traps. Again, I really, really like this Paleozoic engine, and I cannot emphasize enough, play it. Play it in this deck. And it helps with you wanting to just, you activate the Olenoids and it destroys your opponent's back row, and then you kind of just are like, well, I'm going to make Legendary Fisherman 3 now, and I'm going to banish everything you have. So it really helps. You need that back row destruction. And I didn't want to play Twin Twister because I didn't want to go minus so much. And you really can't afford to in this deck. So let's get into the extra deck. So we're going to play one White Aura Whale, which you would be surprised at how many times I go into this. Like I already explained what the effect is a little bit, but I'll tell you really quick what it does. It requires a water monster and a water tuner, which we have in this deck. You can also make this in Mermails. When this card is synchro summoned, you can destroy all of your opponent's attack position monsters, and this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. If this card attacks an defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. I know, the effects just keep going. And if this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can banish one other water monster from your graveyard. Special summon this card, and if you do, it is treated as a tuner. So this card is crazy, crazy good. I cannot emphasize how much I saw this deck and I was like, I'm going to make White Aura Whale one way or another in this deck. I don't care how, but I'm going to do it. Then I play one Psyframe Lord Omega because he can get out of your extra monster zone and then come back. So that's why I'm putting him in here. One Bahamut Shark. It's easy to make totally awesome in this deck with Mastar Boy. So I play him. And everything becomes 4. All your Legendary Fishermen become 4, so it's easy to make him. Number 37, Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark. Again, same kind of reason. It really helps out, but I usually go for Bahamut Shark first. Totally awesome to summon off of either my Paleozoics or my Bahamut Shark. The Paleozoic XYZs, because I'm playing a Paleozoic engine in this deck. One Cat Shark, I thought he was cute, and I had the room, so I threw him in here. And then for my, instant fusion targets, I play Sea Monster of Thessalos. I'm thinking about bumping this up to 2. I don't know yet. I kind of like him at 1, but I might put him at 2. You really only need him once to make your White Aura Whale. One rare fish, because you can use this to link summon away into something like Mastar Boy or something like that. He's kind of there. 1,000 Eyes Restrict, because it can steal your opponent's monsters. And who knew that Meku Tsunami had Pegasus' card? Then we play one Decode Talker. Decode Talker really helps out in this deck because he can let you make your Totally Awesome and Bahamut Shark plays. And then 2 Mastar Boys. If you want to drop the Decode Talker and just play 3 Mastar Boys, you can. Because they just make this deck so much bigger because they increase all your water monsters by 500 attack, which is crazy good. I cannot emphasize how much Mastar Boy is good in this deck. Like, I make him all the time in this deck. Like, if you make him plus White Aura Whale, he's at 3,500 and can pierce and can attack twice. That's big. That's really, really big. If you make 2, he's 4K and it can attack twice. as long as you have Umi on the field. But anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making this deck. It was really interesting. It was kind of out of my comfort. I mean, no, it wasn't. It wasn't out of my comfort zone. I make weird stuff all the time. But I really, really enjoy this deck. It's a lot of fun. It was a little wonky to begin with, but it works. It really does work. I hope you guys enjoy it. Tell me what you think of it down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to join DarkArmedAlliance down in the description below, and I'll see you guys around. See you around, guys.